Sworn is a 1 to 4 player co-op action roguelike with over 200 unique blessings, and it also has lots of different characters, weapons for those characters, and a skill tree. It starts out like any roguelike does. You enter a room, kill all the enemies, and then you get an item for it or an upgrade for it. And eventually you will get to a boss room, and the boss is different, lots of different bosses. If you took damage previously, you will still be at that same amount of health, so you have to be careful during your run, but you will have a few upgrades that your character will have. In general, this game feels really great to play. Everything is super responsive, you can get a really good frame rate, the graphics are pretty amazing, the art style too, and also the environments. When your run ends, you will end up here. This is the hub, and this is where you can choose different characters. You can also choose different modifiers to make the run harder, but get more rewards. There's different abilities you can choose from. Also different weapons. Each character has different weapons, like this guy has a sword and a bow. If I was to choose a different character, it could be a staff. So you will get currency in your run, and with this currency you can, for example, get perks or buy the modifiers like I talked about earlier. The skill tree has some pretty basic stuff, but some really cool stuff too, and it's of course going to help your run. I just chose the one where I healed a little bit amount every new room that I enter. Like I said, these environments are amazing. You will also find like explosive barrels which you can hit, which will blow up a radius to attack the enemy. Each room you do get a blessing, and this bow has like a right click ability. It's like a little AoE ability, but I actually upgraded that a few times and gave it a few enhancements. And it turned out to be really cool. It was so fun to use. It looked super cool because it changes how it looks when you upgrade it. When you have completed a room, you will get 2 blessings. Now, it doesn't actually explain like who does what, so I just picked random ones every single time. They all pretty much will give you a right click buff, a left click buff, or your Q ability buff. You can also dodge, and sometimes you can get a buff on a dodge, so when you dodge, like thorns will appear or wind, particles, and damage the enemy. Also, you have a charged ability if you hold left click, so there's actually quite a few mechanics here, so you won't get bored. They're pretty fun to play with too. Like I said earlier, the blessings change how your abilities look, so right here I actually buffed my right click, which is the AoE of the bow, and it ends up turning kind of like a purple pink colour, and it does a boatload more damage. It was actually really cool. You might have also noticed on these levels there's like traps, and you can walk into these traps and take damage. Enemies can walk into these traps and activate the trap too. I actually had a modifier on this run, and I think that's what spawned in this kind of mini boss enemy. Now this mini boss does have ads, and they just keep respawning, which is fine. You kind of see that in a few bosses, but I would also get more reward for doing this room. I think it's more currency. I don't know if more enemies can spawn or if it's just a harder enemy that spawns, but there's a bunch of modifiers you can buy, and you do need currency to do that. It's kind of like more risk, more reward, but as you're upgrading your character in the hub and the progression is saving between runs, your character is going to just get better naturally. So it's good to have these modifiers also, so you can make it harder and also scale the progression. There's more real big bosses to the game and everything. I didn't show many. I think I showed one at the start, just I didn't want to spoil anything. I do think this is a good roguelike, and definitely put it on your wish list. It is in early access, so it's going to be getting updates hopefully for a little while. Now the price tag is steep. I don't normally mention price tags because it doesn't make a game any less good or any more good, but it is half the price of a AAA game, and obviously this is just a little early access roguelike, and it's fun to play. But I also think if you're not familiar with the genre, you can just buy a more feature packed game than this. This is kind of more like if you have played all the roguelikes or a lot of them and you want something new, this game will definitely fill in that gap. So it is a good game and it's fun, lots of cool stuff here. I did enjoy my time with this game. It hasn't really done anything to change the genre, it's literally what we've seen in any other game before. But if you think it looks cool, you will definitely have fun with this game. Thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and goodbye.